Hello, my name is Ben Hill, and welcome to the Advanced SEO course. By now, many of you have probably already taken my other SEO class, which was designed to establish a really good foundation. This course will build upon those same principles and take your SEO ratings to the next level. In this course, some of the topics I will be covering include skyscraper technique, how to improve what already works, how to perform keyword research and to create more relevant content, link buildings, techniques to boost SEO, and also repurposing old content and creating new material. Ultimately, it's my hope that your website will really take off and is accomplished by good SEO. Alright, in this first lesson, I want to show you guys that you don't always have to create original great content in order to improve your SEO rating. In fact, in this lesson, I'm going to show you that reinventing the wheel is oftentimes a huge headache. And sometimes what you can do is take existing content written by other people and simply improving upon it. And this technique is known as the skyscraper technique, developed by Brian Dean of backlinko.com. And essentially, the idea is to find existing great content and find ways that you can actually make it better, and then reach out to those people and just let them know that, hey, we appreciate what you created, and here's another article. All right, so I want to show you guys what I mean by that. For instance, let's type in dog groomer tips. So if you see here under dog groomer tips underneath the ads, the very first article that we have here, dog grooming tips Caesar's way. Now this ranks highly for a reason. It probably provides some really great content. A lot of people link to it. And so what you can do is you're not necessarily plagiarizing what somebody wrote, but you can take these tips and maybe you have more to add to that. Maybe you're a professional in that certain niche and you just want to add more content, create more videos, elaborate on what they say. And this simple technique is a great way that you can improve the content that's already there and really try to make it your own. In lesson 1, we talked about taking existing content and improving upon it to increase your SEO. Now in this lesson, I want to talk about creating more of what actually works on your own website. If you have existing content that's already trafficked and a lot of people go to it, why not make more content that is similar to that? And I want to show you how to do that. Now, assuming that you already have Google Analytics set up on your page, I want you to go to Google Search Console. I'm going to click on one of the sites that I manage. Click on Search Traffic, Search Analytics, check the pages, and then go ahead and do for the last 90 days. Alright, so these are all the pages that have been clicked on in the last 90 days, and it shows you exactly how many times it's been clicked. So 268 times the home page of this website has been clicked. And so the next one is this article, Chiropractic Health Insurance Part 2, and that's been clicked 89 times. And so you can see here what's popular, what's getting clicked on. And so when you're brainstorming, hey, what articles do I want to write about? Right here, this is what you want to write about, or this is what you want to improve upon. And so this is a really great tip that you can use to, for instance, just take existing content, write something a little bit different, and link to that in the same article, and you can branch out. Fantastic way to improve your SEO, and it's really simple to get and generate ideas. For lesson 3, I figured since we were already in the Google Search Console from the last lesson that I would just show you a couple other things that you can do in Google Search Console to really help improve your SEO. Now from the Search Console, there's 2 other things that you can do that are really simple. Anytime that you create a new article, it's a really good idea that you submit it to Google so that they can crawl it and index it, and so that people can find it. So to do that, just go to crawl, fetches Google, and right here, anytime you just plug in the URL right here, and it goes to your main site, and you can submit it. So if you have a brand new site, I'll just go ahead and I'll click here, fetch, and then over here, submit to index. You just have to verify that you're a human. And if you're doing the entire site, go ahead and crawl this URL and its direct links. Hit go, And then as you can see here, it's all submitted. So that's all set and ready to go. The other thing, you have to make sure that the robots, which are what actually crawl your site, you want to make sure that those are working as well. So go over here to robots. And all you have to do is go down here to the right-hand side and click test, and they're allowed. If for some reason it comes up with an error and they're not allowed, there's something going on. And the easiest fix that I know of in WordPress is to go from your dashboard while you're logged in, go to settings, go down to reading, and then search engine visibility. Sometimes this will be checked and you'll get an error whenever you do that robots test. Just make sure that's unchecked, and that should help you out. And so 2 really simple little tips that you can do help improve your SEO. They're already there in Search Console, so I wanted to show you those really, really quick. Now for lesson 4, I wanted to give you guys a few tips on how you can conduct your own keyword research in order to come up with some topics for future blog posts or content that you actually want to create. And to begin, let's go ahead and just use the tried and true Google Keyword Planner. All right, so now we're in the Keyword Planner dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and use the example of types of tea. Let's just suppose that I run a tea shop or something like that, or a blog, and I just like tea. So let's do a quick example of that. Go ahead, types of tea, I type that in, and then you can change some of your parameters right here as far as the searches you're getting in certain areas. I'm just going to leave it for the United States and get some ideas. So you can see here the average monthly searches for types of tea is anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000. That's just kind of a rough estimate. Now this competition here for low and the suggested bid, that's just for if you're going to actually do some ads. It's telling you how competitive that space is. It's not necessarily going to tell you how much competition there actually is for that particular keyword if you're writing a blog post. Okay, but it can kind of guide you and give you an idea of how competitive it might be. I like to always go for the low-lying fruit when it comes to blog posts, meaning let's not write about something that everybody's writing about, because it probably will be very difficult to rank for and to get found. So why not find some variations on that and actually get a little bit more traffic? I would rather have 50 people come to my blog every month for a certain article than 0. So just that's a little tip that I have. You can go down here and look for the different relevant terms. And again, I'd go through it, find some that you might be able to write about. So like tea shops or tea types of black tea. You could write a little article about that. Again, not a whole lot of searches, but you could actually get a lot of traffic from that potentially. So the other idea that I have for you is to actually go to Google Trends. You can just go ahead and type that in, and I put types of tea, and you can see here, there's as far as the interest in that, it varies a little bit, but it's actually fairly high. And if you go down here to the bottom, related topics, again, this is just like Keyword Planner. It gives you some alternative things that people are actually searching for, their interest. So you have an idea of Tivana, something you want to write about. That's as far as the trend, you can see here that it's up 600%. And then finally, I like to actually use the app BuzzSumo. BuzzSumo is a website, and go ahead and just type in types of tea. These are other blog posts or other articles that are out there, and it shows you, how many people are actually the engagement, how many people are sharing that on Facebook. So for this first article, 7 types of tea and why they are good for your skin. That's very popular. 35,000 shares on Facebook alone. And so this kind of goes back to our very first lesson. Hey, how can I take that article, and are there maybe 10 different types of tea that are really good for your skin? Or is there some way that I can make that particular article better? Can I make it longer, more visually appealing? So all of this really ties in together. SEO, it really takes all of these different principles and goes back into, hey, let's make great content that people are going to share. So these are the 3 ways that I use and suggest for keyword research in finding, hey, what's trending right now and what is going to be shared and popular. This is probably going to be one of my most favorite lessons of all, simply because repurposing old content is so easy to do. The content already exists, and basically you can just take that and make it a little bit better. And I want to show you guys how you can do that. All right, so take for instance my article, On-Page SEO Guide. Now this is one of my most popular articles on my entire website on simple content creation. I get a ton of traffic from this, and I wrote that actually about a year ago. And so in order to make it current, what I did to repurpose it is I've actually gone through and I've updated a few of the things that I talk about in there. And that was really simple. I just did a little bit of research, some of the newest trends, and I added a few extra pictures, a little bit more text, and just made it a little bit better. And so by doing that, I've actually included a few extra authors, and I was able to just go ahead and send out a couple emails to them. And it wasn't something that took a whole lot of time or thought, and I didn't have to really struggle with that one. To add to that, I also went ahead, I headed on over to Canva. I love Canva, and I created, as you can see here, a downloadable PDF. And it's the same content, nothing's different here, but it talks about the same principles that I had there. And so this is a pop-up that I can offer to people, increase my email subscribers, and simply another medium that I can spread across the internet to get more exposure. After I did that, I took that same PDF, I went over to SlideShare, which if you're not using SlideShare is a huge mistake because it's really simple to do as well. All I did was I uploaded it here, and although I'm not getting a ton of people, there's only 71 views, I just put it up not too long ago, but it's another place where people can see my content on a different platform, and it's easy to share. The other thing I would suggest, which is another really cool idea, is that in your own articles, since this is the most popular article on my website, basically what I did is I just started including links. For instance, right here, the Definitive Beginner's Guide to Canva. This is another article that I wrote. It doesn't get a lot of traffic, but I went ahead and put it right here to pretty much tie it together because I consider this article to be the hub of my website. It gets the most traffic, and so I'm going to go ahead and just connect the other articles that don't get as much SEO treatment, and hopefully by doing this I can boost them over time, and it's a really smart thing to do. A lot of times when we're talking about SEO, we're always talking about the words on the page and not so much the images and what we actually see. And I can tell you that image optimization is a critical part to your SEO ranking. And so to identify your SEO ranking and how your website is doing overall, I like to use tools such as gtmetrics.com and do a quick check on my website and see how it's doing. How fast does it load? How many requests? And also it gives me a whole ton of recommendations on things that I need to improve. And so if you scroll down here, one of the things is optimize images. And I can tell you that this was not always 100% A+ here. It was actually one of the things in the top up here that I had to improve. And I want to show you guys how I did that. But first, let me show you something on my homepage. So on simple content creation, I have this picture back here, and this was always popping up. And I noticed that when I ran tests, it was always one of the last things to show up, to render on the page. I never really thought much about it, and to be frank, I never optimized it. I just kind of threw it up there and left it alone. Until just recently, when I got a little bit more interested on fine-tuning the website, I finally looked at the actual image, how large it was, and if you look over here, it's 4 megabytes. That is huge, and that's why it took so long for the page to load and render, and my site was a little bit slow, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? And so that was the first thing that I decided I needed to change. To resize the images, I just go to resizeimage.net. It's a free service that you can use. Upload your image. Allow it just a few seconds to upload. Now I believe that I actually changed the size of the image already, so it's not going to be as large as it was, but I want to show you how I can actually change it even more. Alright, so here we go. We have a whole lot of options. You can crop your image, change the aspect ratio, you can rotate it, do all these different things to it. I'm going to leave it at 1600 by 800. Instead of a PNG, I'm going to just change that down to a JPEG. We'll keep it at best image quality, resize image. So it was resized from 632 kilobytes down pretty much in half. We changed it. And so that is huge. And if I wanted to, so we can go ahead, we can view the image. Doesn't look much different than it was before, but it's half the size. And so I strongly encourage you to take your images, size them down, just run it through that, because once you're done, you can just download that image, and that's it. It's a really simple thing that you can do there. The other thing that I highly suggest you do is also add alt text. Alt text is basically the way that the internet interprets your image. Obviously, you can't see what's on what the image is, but if you can be a little bit more descriptive. So if it was a baby, just put crying baby, something like that. Here I put SEO research. Just describe it, and so that the internet knows how to interpret it, and it might actually show up in more search results. And it's something very simple that you can do. I strongly encourage you to resize your images. And as you can see, all my images based on what it says here are very, very good. It was terrible before, and it really dropped my load time dramatically. And of course, page speed is one of the factors that weighs heavily in your overall SEO. If you do a quick Google search, there is going to be one thing that all of the top websites all have in common, and that's the fact that they're very, very lengthy. They have a lot of words to them. And I want to show you this infographic that Brian Dean from backlinko.com put together. And it's the correlation between the length of the post relative to the overall position in Google. And if you can see that the top rated posts or websites, they all have very, very lengthy or long posts. And so I want you to go back to your best content, look how many words you actually have there. And if you don't have enough, go ahead and just add more. That's part of what we've been saying this entire course, is to take old content, make it better, and just see the proof right here that your chances of ranking better will largely depend on how much content and how many words you actually have there. Well, if you've made it this far through the class, I really, really want to thank you. I hope that it's been a huge help for you and that it will allow you to improve your SEO and rank better. I do have a couple of other SEO website design classes I'd like for you to check out. If you like this class, go ahead and give it a positive review and leave your feedback. Share it with your friends. SEO, it's a long-term process, so keep that in mind. Be patient with it. But again, I do want to thank you, and I hope that you have an incredible day.